Google is dying. Whatever you do, do not throw it a lifeline. It's very popular to bash big tech these days. I've done it here on this channel, but somehow, someway, we need to learn the difference between bashing a company on YouTube and using the heavy hand of government to try to create market winners and losers. Because that's what we are doing when we use the government to control private businesses, even when, actually, especially when we think they're getting out of control. The Biden administration sued Google supposedly in order to punish it for its own success. But the real reason, like with anything government does, is to appear to be doing something in order to please the electorate. I feel that Trump is on the same track, unfortunately. One of the reasons that, although I voted for Trump and strongly supported him and still support him over the alternative, I believe some of his economic plans are going to be counterproductive in the long run. Now, even just a few years ago, it seemed like Google's market advantages were insurmountable. Its share of search advertising revenue, for example, was more than 3 times its nearest competitor. It seemed like nothing could dislodge it from that leadership position. But over the past few years, that share has fallen precipitously to where it now accounts for less than twice the advertising revenue of its nearest competitor. And it's very likely that decline is just beginning. The most immediate and obvious reason is that Google search competitors, such as Amazon, Walmart, YouTube, as well as some smaller search competitors, have gained a growing share of the search engine market. Now, if this was the only challenge that Google was facing, it could probably be manageable. The company would probably be able to successfully compete with these relative upstarts head-to-head and maintain its advantages for a long time to come. But as things tend to happen in a free market, the gods of good fortune that smiled on Google for so long have turned on it with a vengeance. As it turns out, the direct search competition is the least of Google's problems right now. The most important and worrisome reason, that for Google at least, is a revolution in the way that people find information. Some people, and most especially oldsters like me, have just taken it for granted that internet searches, which give the user a variety of links to choose from, are the only way to use the internet. But in a very few years, it likely will no longer be the way people get most of their information on the web. As stupid as artificial intelligence actually is, in terms of having any actual intelligence, it's become a very viable alternative to using Google, or any other search engine for that matter, to search for information on the internet. That's because instead of making users wade through long lists of links to find the information that they're looking for, large language systems such as ChatGPT provide users with answers to their questions from within their own systems without the hassle of choosing the best link. Now, this obviously poses risks, as shown recently by Google's disastrous rollout of its own AI systems. Remember what I said about the gods of good fortune being fickle. AI hallucinations will be a problem for the foreseeable future, but it is almost certain to end the Google stranglehold on finding information on the internet. And at least to me, one of the most appealing aspects of this revolution is the potential for decentralized systems to compete directly with large corporations. ChatGPT, for example, isn't actually owned by any one company. Originally conceived as a nonprofit, ChatGPT parent OpenAI has since converted to for-profit and has accepted investments from big companies, most notably Microsoft. But the amount of corporate control over this system is infinitesimal compared to what Google has enjoyed in recent years. Unhappy with the transition to for-profit status, one of OpenAI's founders, Elon Musk, has since created his own AI system, xAI. Bottom line, things are changing very quickly and not in a good way for Google. The creative destruction that keeps free markets growing and vibrant has its sights set on Google now in a big way. As one writer put it, Google is like the Titanic headed for an iceberg. In the late 1990s, the Justice Department sued Microsoft for its alleged monopoly on the web browser market for Windows. Before this suit could even be resolved, market corrections made it irrelevant. And in fact, this and other moves by the government paved the way for Google's current domination of the search market, which the government is now seeking to undo right at the time that market forces are undoing it. Won't they ever learn? I think the answer to that is quite clearly no, at least and not until we make them.